Wait a moment. Safe travels.
And to you.
Nice tambourine.
It's the only thing I have left, my trade,
A minstrel?
for more years than I care to count.
We're horse traders. We're taking them north. And you? Are you heading to Compostela too?
I go wherever the road takes me.
He didn't believe a word of our horse trader story. Then he's a veteran of the road. He knows the routes, the languages, where to sleep, whom to avoid, and when a bridge is out.
That's worth more than a horse loaded with merchandise. Should we invite him?
I think if we want to stop looking like four lost strangers, we've just found the best guide possible.
This just won't stop.
No one's leaving. It's dangerous. Quédense donde están. Stay where you are. I'll light a candle in a moment. As my grandmother used to say, if you know where you put things, you can find them even in the dark.
On nights like this, back home we used to tell horror stories. See who could scare the others more, right?
I'm not much in favor of that. We might start imagining things.
What's life without emotion? I'll start. A story that happened to my grandmother in her village. She was about 7 years old. In a rural town that's now a city. One night, her father sent her out to run an errand. This really happened around 1940. Another time, another world. A full moon night, everything clearly visible. The general store was about 7 blocks away. She started walking calmly until, after 3 or 4 blocks, she reached open land where there used to be a tennis court. At the far end of that field stood a tree. As she moved forward, she began to hear a tilin, tilin sound, like little bells or the cowbells tied to calves. The farther she went, the clearer and closer the sound became. She expected to see the animal at any moment. When she reached the tree, the sound was louder. To her surprise, beside the trunk she found a small being, a goblin, with a large hat and bright, vibrant colors, calling to her, stretching out a hand, offering her candy. The apparition terrified her. She slowly stepped back, turned around, and began walking home, hearing the tilin tilin following her. Panic made her run. She didn't know how she got back to the house. Her father saw her coming, running and distraught, and immediately knew something had happened. He went to her at once, hugged her, covered her face, and at the same time gave orders to turn off all the lights in the house. They went into a completely dark room and stayed there until she calmed down. Neighbors arrived, alarmed by how they had seen her run past. When she finally settled, she told her father what had happened. Years later, she learned that in that area there were stories about the goblin's appearances, and that some people had been hurt by him. The locals avoided passing through that place once night began to fall.
Yes, I remember she told us that story when we were children. My contribution isn't as dramatic, but it's just as true. My ancestor, Monica, a woman of unmatched strength, was travelling when night caught her before she reached her destination. Luckily, along the way she arrived at the pulperia of some acquaintances. The family was in mourning for the death of the father. She said the usual, Ave Maria Purissima. From inside they replied, Sin pecado concebida, the common exchange of that time. She asked to stay the night, and they offered her the room attached to the shop, with an ominous warning. She could stay if she dared, because the deceased wandered through the business at night. She accepted without batting an eye. As a midwife, she was used to being out at all hours, in every kind of place. With a candle beside the bed, and no desire for adventure, she lay down and fell peacefully asleep. Deep in the early hours of the morning, she heard the echo of footsteps pacing the shop from one end to the other. Determined to see what it was, she lit the candle and, rolling up her nightgown, went to confront the dead man. To her great amusement, she discovered the sound of the footsteps was caused by mice, carrying cookies in their mouths from a bag all the way to the exit. Since they were large, they thumped against the floor as they walked. The next day she told them, though I can't reproduce her colourful language, that they were cowards, letting themselves be robbed by mice. That was just one of many stories starring her. Too bad the only thing I inherited from her were her beauty marks.
A night much like this one. The storm had left half of Buenos Aires in darkness. Ivan was 22 years old. He was a librarian of invaluable collections. But his true world was this. Before the large window, he had created his Krasny Ugol, a lit corner in the midst of a city plunged into darkness. There was an ancient weariness in his gaze, the weariness of exile. "Forgive me, Barin, I saw the light from the street." Ivan, startled, nodded. Hospitality, even toward a drenched stranger, was a mandate stronger than prudence. He led him into the library. The man seemed out of place. In his worn and humble clothes, he moved like a ghost among shadows. A great fortune for such a young man. The visitor, who introduced himself as Yakov, let his gaze wander across the spines of the books. Not with envy, but with curiosity. "It is not my merit," Ivan clarified, serving him a strong, hot tea in fine porcelain. "It is a family inheritance. I merely take care of it, as I do the books." Yakov nodded, taking the cup with calloused hands that trembled slightly. The warmth seemed to bring him back to life. Books are icons as well. They guard souls as mine does. From an inner pocket he drew a small bundle, carefully wrapped in linen cloth, incredibly dry. With great delicacy, he unfolded it upon the table. It was not large, but its presence was overwhelming. Christ Pantocrator, upon a sky of nocturnal lapis lazuli. From Novgorod. My grandfather saved it. My father hid it. I no longer have walls of my own. Why me? Because in the midst of all this stone and luxury, you keep your red corner lit. Because you guard the souls of books. And this is the soul of my lineage. It needs a custodian, not an owner. When he turned back, Yakov was already gone. He did not become an owner. He became a custodian. A fragment of Novgorod's night sky had found its final lamp.
Well, clearly the horror angle didn't quite work out, but if this was just an excuse not to be alone with the storm, it worked. Now then.
In a round of stories, the day got us by surprise.
It's here.
What is it, Bertrand?
I've seen entire companies with less discipline than you four.
Every trade has its customs. Tell me, how many roads have you traveled?
Horse traders, he thought. No, he had traveled with merchants, pilgrims, soldiers, and entire companies. Those four were something else. He still didn't know what. Do you know what your problem is? You want to go unnoticed. and all you manage to do is make everyone remember you.
Are we really that bad?
Horribly. 4 young men, well-mannered and well-spoken, who never argue, never drink too much, never choose the wrong inn, and always pay exactly what they owe. That doesn't exist. Every innkeeper remembers you.
Strange how duty never ends, even after centuries. Faithful, still unwavering. 4 guardians, 4 strong pillars. Duty always before our lives, holding up an ancient bond. Live your life unaware of this. Other worlds conceal their dangers, ever seeking paths into our own.